20 minutes on that one. This one doesn't say.
Okay. I'll check them each like 5 minutes, and then just for like 30 seconds or so, I'll just play y'all down.
For sure. That works for me. Check, check. Put the headphone in so you know the sound works.
Yo, 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 yo.
Yeah. Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. Yo. Word, word.
Check. Marker. Action.
That was crazy. You're supposed to put it towards the camera.
Oh, shit.
I mean, we didn't write on it, so it doesn't really matter.
Check. Marker. Action.
Word. That's what's up, man. What's up, Layden?
What up, bro?
Introduce yourself.
I'm Layden. My name is Layden, and I go by Bob Gnarly.
Yes. And what did you do? We're talking about Sputniks, the album by me. I'm Andy Ashley. I wear it on my shirt. That's fucking corny, but it is what it is today. Layden right here is a rapper on the label AA Records. He also is the main voice actor for a character called Commander on the project called Sputniks. My project.
You're
So, yeah, man. Where do we even begin with this hoe, dude? I've been kind of thinking about, like, where to start. I know where it ended. We're, like, 2 weeks into the promotion. I can speak a lot about how I feel about that shit, but, yeah.
I feel like it's great. I feel like it's touching boundaries that's never been touched before. It's pushing boundaries. It's coming in out of left field for anyone who's like has expectations. You shouldn't have them. Specifically, the character Commander, he is like a closed book. So, in order to start understanding this character, his role that he plays in this greater story, you have to kind of peel it back page by page and read through it page by page. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Commander doing that role in and of itself is kind of surreal. Like, it didn't feel real because I never saw myself doing some kind like a role like that.
No, yeah. I mean, it's a conceptual album, right? That's what I'm all about, is albums that tell stories first and then the music and shit comes second, even though, like, a musician, that's the hard constraint. We can talk about more constraints later, but Sputniks, I knew I had the type of script for it. I knew it had to be a story. It had a bunch of different lives, but I knew to really send that point home of, like, the Commander is not Andy, it's not me, it's not anybody really. I needed some external voice acting and stuff, so that's where Layden stepped up, man. As soon as I kind of got the nugget in my head, I knew that's who I wanted for that role, and I'm glad he came out and helped me, because it was more than just the voice acting. It was the, like, a new standard. It was a new project, a new thing, a new level that we wanted to reach to, so he helped me get there. So appreciate that.
Hell yeah. You already know.
Yeah, man. Where do I start? So the album Sputniks. So, like, I would say like 4 or 5 years ago, we were thrifting or something. I think I stopped at a spot called Urchin Gallery. It's all we used to do resell shit. But yeah, he had this shirt, this little piece of shit black shirt with the word Sputnik written on the front, 24 on the back. And I was like, oh man, this is really cool. And then slowly but surely I was like, what is Sputniks? Like, what does that mean? And it was fresh off. Me and Coda did this album called Saloon. And we were kind of gearing up to do another project. Maybe this was a little after DOA. I can't really remember. It was probably more after DOA than Saloon. But I knew Colt wanted to learn how to produce and go his own separate way. And our collaboration kind of had this certain energy. And initially, I wanted to kind of like emulate and duplicate some of that same energy, but on my own, while he was doing like Blind Can't See and he was starting that thing. I kind of wanted to keep barking down this road of like DOA and Saloon and the space cowboy and all this space adventure shit, because that was my part to our like cowboy cult shit. It was like a collaborative part. That was my energy. So that's where Sputnik kind of started. This would have been November or even before then, 2020, around there. So yeah. Then I made an album called The Undercut. So it's literally the name. So The Undercut's
Fire
actually
album.
a racing album, hell yeah. And so I went to a house. I went to go there to record Sputniks. I had about 7 kind of demos kind of mapped out. I wanted to knock out all the recording by myself, so I isolated for like 3 or 4 days. And then like on the first day, I got distracted by this other idea of this racing album, conceptual, same type shit. And in the name, The Undercut, a racing strategy when you stop early to fuck over somebody else who's coming after you. So I was like, quite literally, The Undercut will mess up Sputniks. And I knew that while I was making it, because I was supposed to be making a different album. And I was like, let me make this little shit first. And then it kind of like derailed the whole thing. But it was good because the original idea for Sputniks wasn't complete. And like, I guess I must have felt it spiritually then.
So, tell me this: a tape like Green Rejects, that was rejected tracks from a specific project?
Yes, so some of the Green Rejects are actually Sputniks rejects. So there's a track called Spotlight on there. Spotlight was kind of one of the first tracks I wanted to do for the original Sputniks. I wanted more of like a disco, dancey, so like Dead Heart and a lot of the shit I did with Kai, fucking Night After Night. Like I wanted more of a kind of like this weird synth pop dance vibe. And I just wasn't feeling like that, man. Wasn't feeling like that. Colt brought a lot of personality and shit to that idea, and like, you know, it takes 2 to literally tango. So I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
And
you felt like those tracks breathed deeper in a better project.
For sure.
Or in a different project.
Yeah.
Not a better project, just a different one.
Different. And you get some of that shit on Undercut, but like Spotlights was one. There's another one called Grim Waltz, RX-7. Like I can name some of the tracks that were floating in that space. But like he said, Green Rejects was rejected tracks from Green Demo and Sputniks and The Undercut. So from there, the idea got a lot darker. So the real kind of turning point to Sputniks, the idea was that like as like I wanted to do more of like real space research and science and shit, and then like you slowly but surely realize this space is actually super violent.
Right.
Like you think like astronauts go explore, there's shuttles and all that kind of shit, and it's like real like fun and Star Trek and like this real fantasy type thing. But when you think about it, like if an astronaut were to take off his spacesuit while in space, his fucking blood boils just from the vacuum. Like your shit tries to get outside. That's just not having a spacesuit. It's not just empty, it's like pressure. Yeah. And pressure was something I did a lot for Life is Unstable. So like it kind of started this domino effect of like, nah, we're gonna make it way darker. It's gonna be rap, it's gonna be hip hop, it's not gonna be dancey shit, and we're gonna really take it to a place that we haven't been before.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And that's where I feel like this tape brought us. Anyone who had a hand in this tape, it's not like anything you worked on before. So like specifically doing the voice acting, you have to kind of you have to gather who this character is for yourself and try your best to portray that. And it's like you got questions like, how do you do it justice? How do I say this in a way where when someone hears it, it feels real? It's telling a story that words alone can't tell. You can get the story through someone's conviction and their emotion that they put across on a voice skit, you know? And that's just a skit. That's just a glimpse into the world that is being created here. So you have these skits and they're telling a story, correct? But you also have your listener's interpretation and what attributes have they picked up from that character? What attributes and emotions have they picked up through your conviction and you know, the way that you're, you know, really expressing yourself and trying to express what the overarching message of the album is. So you get all these different like contrasting things, because like here I am, like in certain ways in my life, like I do want to flash the fuck out, crash the fuck out, and fucking take the whole ship with me, you know? And so like you can say that in the moment where the ship crashes in the album, that's like a perfect, you know, what's the word? Analogy for when you're in life and you're in control of your ship of life, you know. You feel like things are in control, and then you come across things you don't expect, and sometimes you crash out, you know. Sometimes it's mayday, mayday, and you don't have a fucking an escape pod. You don't have a parachute. You just gotta fucking go all in. And I feel like that was a big message I picked up, or a big character trait I picked up from Commander. Just full flesh, just pursuing what you want, in despite of whatever else is telling you that you shouldn't. You know,
That's a big part of it, because like I think, you know, I had the songs, and I was like, but I gotta tell this story, right? So I worked on the script for like 3 or 4 years, way too long, like literally, but you know, perfectionist, all that shit. But like there has to be subtext, there has to be this thing that ties everything together, and the big challenge was like, with the music, you can talk and be detailed and go as deep into whatever topics you want. You get 16 different things, but I really wanted like 3 or 4 things to be the things that the script was talking about. I want really one, but the music was too big, so I had to kind of like be a little too wide. And with people like, people aren't used to screenwriting or script writing and stuff. It's my first one. It's a learning process. I don't want to be too hard. But the big message I wanted was like, one is mortality, right? It's everybody's gonna die, blah blah, so edgy, right?
right.
But like, what is that feeling actually? What actions does that cause when you really are at odds with your death? So then that led to the second thing, which is selfishness, right? I wanted this character to really like, selfishness is not necessarily a bad thing, right? It's very, it has a certain connotation to it.
Right.
But I wanted this selfishness and this mortality thing to really drive his decisions. I wanted the story to kind of show that, because the selfishness and the mortality is something I deal with. So I'm like, how do I expand upon this and really turn it up, not from just 10 to 11 to 12 to fucking 100, and then go from there. So I hope people are picking up on it, because I get feedback, and that's one of the things is like, people go like, you know, this dude is egotistical and he's selfish, and I'm like, that's what I want. And some of the script had to be real on the nose, because you only get a certain amount of time to really fit those beats in. If it was a movie, it'd be different.
Right.
But like,
well,
I'm glad from the feedback I'm getting, people interpreted that part, because I want you to struggle with that, because it's not bad to want to go explore space. That's what this rap shit is, right? This music shit is. It's like, it's a selfish endeavor, and yet we still do it.
Definitely.
Is that a bad thing? And it's like, that's the thing I'm grasping with. So that's what I wanted the script to grasp with.
Yeah. I feel in life like everyone has their own version of their final frontier.
Yeah.
Or what their cusp of exploration, or whatever they're pursuing to do. So you have so many different walks of life, right? And with each new pair of ears that hear this tape, it's always wanted for them to pick up something, you know? So like, with each new pair of ears that listen to the tape, is like, what is each person getting from it, you know?
Yeah.
What is the overarching message that we sent, and like, how did we get from there? How did we get there, you know? And I feel like that story really did a good job in tying that element of it in. And then the music in and of itself is, I mean, I feel like this whole first part, we've only just talked about the script and the story and the character building and kind of some of the work that went into that. But I'm really interested in your creative process for some of these songs that you chose, the beats you chose, the sounds you were going for.
Yeah.
And what were some of the elements that you really truly wanted to ring true through this tape, through the music itself?
So like I said earlier, the original version of Sputniks, that was a badass looking car. But the original version was different, and I knew I have gripes with maybe the way I see my favorite thing, right? My favorite thing is art and music and expression. But really, I'm a hip hop head, bro. I love rap. I love hip hop music. Like, I've guitar. I've fronted a punk band and shit. Like, that's still my shit too. But that's a mentality, right? I bring that mentality to this other thing, and I think some of the hurdles that it faced, maybe it's always had those problems. But hip hop is supposed to be revolutionary. It's supposed to be groundbreaking. It's supposed to be transformative. It's supposed to be dangerous. And I think it's just very consumerist.
Yeah.
We got a break?
Yeah. I'm gonna start them all over.
What is this recording into?
We got the interface here, and we got 2 cameras here. Shout out Fishboy. He's hustling. Y'all probably we blacked out for a second.
Take 2.
Pussy.
So, like, we'll keep that shit in. That's funny. But, yeah, it's all consumerist, man. Shit's all fucked up, bro. Rap was for sale. It got pimped the fuck out, and the genre sucks ass now. Like, I'm in the heart of Houston right now, bro. Like, I'm here. And we've seen a lot of shit over the past 7 years, bro. We've been at this whole long time. And I can count on maybe 2 hands how many people really blew me the fuck away in this genre. Right?
For sure.
And that's like, it's a slight on other people. Like, if you feel some type of way, like, I get it. And you might feel the same type of way about me. But, like, I expect more, right? I want to feel like, damn. Like, that's why I haven't made it, because that motherfucker's killing it over there. And I haven't seen that same kind of transformation in the genre. So with the production and shit, I wanted to take it to places where I thought rap should be. So I listened to a lot of my own favorite rappers, which was like, even outside my, like, normally it's Schoolboy, Mac, like all these typical people, ASAP, right? Kendrick, like there's bangers, but I wanted to get real alternative, real obscure, real kind of grimy with it and go into those pockets that maybe aren't noticed. So that's JPEG, who's been doing this fucking thing, right? Cities of Eve, that's a bad motherfucker. Who else? Death Grips, of course, industrial hip hop, like staple. They just fucking crashed out too. R.I.P. Death Grips. They'll be back, maybe. Who knows?
Oh shit.
Fucking Moody Black was a big one. Fucking
you
More
showed
Mother.
me that to go crazy.
Blackie from the H, man. We did a show with him a couple years. Like, I wanted grimy. I wanted industrial. I wanted harsh. I wanted like abrasive. That's what I was going for. And then I also wanted kind of this clean, crisp, spacey thing where it's like bouncy and arpeggiated, and like I think I found a nice little space to occupy both of those shits.
For sure. And and everything that we see is only through our eyes, Everything we see is only through our perspective. So that's through our perception and what we're picking up.
Yeah.
And what we interpret, and everyone has their own interpretation. There's no facts, there's only
Interpretations, yep.
So
that's a great point.
We're trying to we have a vision for what we wanting to pursue and achieve, but in practice it's a lot different than it is in your head sometimes. So what does making an album require? It requires hard work, it requires consistency, it requires determination, it requires you to
vision, bro.
Redefine yourself. It requires a vision, and you can tell instantly when you listen to a tape if one of those elements is missing.
For sure.
You get all these chances to try and touch on different elements and have them present in your work, and some things you cut out. Like trimming the fat off of things.
Nah, for sure. There's a bunch of cut songs. Even some that didn't make the rejects.
That's where I'm like, yeah, a lot of this stuff is like this tape has been whittled down to where it is now, and there's a lot of echoes of it in your other works too. And so I think like when I heard this tape, it felt like a culmination almost of everything you've been wanting to say.
No, yeah. I think there's a lot of like little echoes of other shit, right? And I'm still in it, right? The album just came out. All the promos coming out, all the new shit, the artwork, the response, all the shit's coming out. So I'm in the storm.
Right.
When I re-listen to this album in 4 or 5 years, right, and I have a different perspective, I'll be able to see some of those through lines to all the other projects. But off top,
it's like now you're kind of in the forest, and
I'm
so
in the
like
shit, bro.
all you can't tell how big the forest you're in. All you see is fucking trees.
Exactly.
But you need that time to gain the perspective.
But even then, I can still see like some of the connections, right? Like I see. There's like little shit that's on purpose and there's little shit that's accidental. Like there's font choices that are like little hints towards other shits, right? It's the little details, the minute shit that can really get there. And even within the songs, like a song like Death Switcher has references to some of my other shit. Now, I know that, but it's somebody else who's not familiar with the shit. Probably not, but like it still makes sense. So it's one big thing. It's one big story. Every project is a cycle of birth and death, right? Everything. That's how it always starts, how it always ends. So when you have this vision and you have this real strict constraint on everything, it must be like this. It must have this. There's no way I'm gonna do that. Blah blah blah.
Everything's an option.
You start exactly.
So
The
a
choices
choice.
kill you.
Yeah. So a
So
choice
you
is
have
your
to
noose.
eliminate your choices to where you're forced to certain areas, and then you get the battle if that's what you want to do. So I think this project constrained me in a lot of ways. It just like worked out. So like, I'm really excited for it, and all the details are like really what the hard part, right? The artwork was the hard part. The fucking album art was the hard part. The script was the hard part because that shit people don't do, right?
Right.
I've seen people kind of do it. Like even fucking dude, you talk about the way the stars align. So I have this track called Influence and Suffocation. It's on this album called Life's Unstable. This isn't about that album, and I could even talk about that, why it's not, but oh shit. But fucking that song Influence and Suffocation is about how you can let your idols and your influences to people you respect and admire kind of poison and like destroy maybe what you're trying to make in like this new thing.
Diluting
when you're trying
your
to
own.
emulate other people.
Yeah.
So right before the album came out, man, the way it lined up was fucking Peggy released his goddamn deluxe album.
Yeah.
And you see this big ass cross. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like I had already made the album art for Prey. I'm sampling him on that song. The cross is actually a reference to Sagemont Church over off Beltway 8 and 45 in Houston.
Yeah.
And like it's a cross on the moon or a dead planet. Like that's what I wanted. But just like that one thing lined up, we're just like, fuck, is that biting? Like no.
Fuck
but like
no.
it just lined up like that. Or like
Yeah.
Mac Miller, my favorite artist, if y'all don't know, that's my favorite
Balloonerism?
rapper, released Balloonerism. Balloonerism, the promo for it had fucking screenplay shit. I can count on.
Yeah.
I can't think of another album that released with a screenplay. Like, and I listen to so much
Yeah, I was
music.
like watching that whole thing. I was like, what the fuck?
And my fucking, this dude died, and he's still like, nah, nigga, you're out. Like, I made this shit forever ago, and I was on this shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're just now catching up. So it was humbling, but it's just like, it's also nice because you feel the spirit of that kind of shit. Like, all right, I'm carrying a torch a certain way, right? And then, like, that's my perspective.
Yeah, I think that Sputniks will stand the test of time just in its relevancy alone, because what the message is and what I've picked up from it, I think can apply and rings true throughout lifetimes. You know,
Heard.
you got it's coming from a raw perspective from an artist. You know, how it truly feels to, you know, try to pursue being greater than what people may see you as. Like if you chill in your local bubble, you got all your people that know you, your family and shit, bro, like people that are closest to you won't even play your shit, bro.
Oh, for sure not.
Like
Nor
they only
should
see
they,
you
but,
as they see you as Andy, or they see me as Leighton.
Heard.
But it's not until you show like who you truly are, who that artist truly is. You have to show people, and even sometimes when they see it, they won't believe it. But you have to constantly show and prove, not just talk about it. So it's like, as an artist, you got like all these different conflicts that come along with that. Like, bro, I want to be the best. I want to be the most successful. But what does that really mean? What is my definition of success? You know, it varies person to person.
No, and that's a huge part of my own personality is I'm fucking super competitive. Like, it comes out in ways I may not always say that shit. I'm not gonna fucking dunk on a child at a fucking barbecue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be nice, but at the same time, like I'm very cutthroat, and I want to compete, and I want to be the best at what I decide to do. Right? And this is what I decided to do, so I want to be the fucking best at it. And there's a lot of opportunities that, you know, you just wish you could capitalize on. You got to look at yourself and go like, did I put my best foot forward, or what the fuck it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you did, but you neglected this other part. And I think Sputniks is an echo of that sentiment too, of like really going out there, trying to compete and fucking failing, right? Falling flat on your face and losing all your teeth and scraping half your face off and really picking them up and being like, I'm gonna take my ball and go home. And then like, that's what the shit is, right? This nigga left Earth.
Right.
What would you have to go through to make you want to leave Earth? I leave that answer up to the person listening, but like, to me, that's this shit.
What on earth are you trying to get away from?
Exactly.
Where on earth are you going?
And it's
like we're in space, right? So anything goes. In the world, it's an open universe.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, but I feel like what I was picking up, especially like through Commander and Mission Control's
Yeah.
dialogue and their back and forth, is that Commander's like, he's really past this shit. He's done with all this shit. He doesn't really give a fuck what's out there. He just wants to go out there and be something greater than what he's seen from
Yeah.
his surroundings, right? So it's like you're getting blasted off into this entire new universe where you don't really know what's coming, but you know that it's greater than something that you would just, I guess, tend to expect, you know. I also had a question too, because
Please.
I see Commander playing this role as like a renegade, sort of like, okay, he embodies this oomph of like the emphasis of things, and whatever he does, he's just doing it full fledged, right? And then
Yeah.
you have Mission Control that's always trying to kind of like reel him back and,
Sure.
and trying to find common ground with someone that has no common ground to be found, you know. So I wanted to know, as Commander to me embodies like this emphasis and like a lot of action and pure passion, I'm wondering, what does Mission Control embody in your opinion?
Mission Control is like the final tie to Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I was saying, how there's a few subjects I really wanted to touch on. One of the big ones is humanity, right? Because I'm long term with this. I'm 2 projects ahead of this project right now, and
Yeah.
the next project is going to be more focused on that humanity aspect. So, Mission Control represents rationality. It represents like the goodness and your normal social expectations and things like that, because it's
Yeah.
philosophical. Like a lot of this stuff is built on Nietzsche
Yeah.
and the idea of like, we have a genealogy of morals, right? We inherit these things from our parents the same way we inherit our hair, our skin, or our fucking toenails. So even things like being kind to people in need, that is a moral that's not inherent to us. That's something that's taught.
Mm-hmm.
And the person, to really lose their humanity, we have to lose those kind of aspects that even me as a person, like, those are my values, whether I like it or not.
Yeah.
I'm in this world.
Right.
I'm raised by certain things, and I'm a product of that environment. So Mission Control is kind of like a sensible person.
Right. Well,
But-
there's like a specific point where in their dialogue when he says, it's like, I desperately want the weight of the world to be on my shoulders, and that drew like a clear line in sand between the two for me. Is like her response encapsulated everything, I think, where she's like, well, I heard it's pretty heavy. Like, you have your perspective, right? It's all about perspective and perception. So that being like the last tie to his humanity and like his sense of having sense,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. And like it's like a it's a good energy trade and difference, I guess. Like, the opposites attract, so it works really well, because it's almost like the good angel and the devil on your shoulder.
Exactly.
In a way. And the devil is like his gnawing conscience and all of these thoughts and all of these super hyper ideas that are flooding his brain at any given moment. And then you have Mission Control, whose job is to keep balance, keep record, keep data, focusing on the facts, focusing on the rationality of things.
Keep him alive.
Keeping
right?
him alive.
Bring him
right?
home.
Bringing him home back in one
And
piece.
I think when you're exploring, right, it's most explorers don't go back home. They go somewhere else, and then they either keep going somewhere else, or they fucking stay wherever they found. And I think, that kind of opposite goal of, there was a split in the story when I was writing the screenplay of like, did he know that he was gonna never come back from the beginning? And I kind of wanted to leave that a little ambiguous, because I had it both ways, right? I had it where it was initially a suicide mission. I had it one way where it wasn't, and he was just naive.
Right. Is this like a story and a journey of desolation? Is this a story of finding oneself?
Yeah.
To me in my head, it seemed like a story of
Knowing yourself already.
knowing yourself, and then I feel like it's also like a story of conquest, because I want to know where he goes and what he does with where he went, but
Yeah.
you don't really get that part of it.
Don't.
But you get this feeling in your heart that wasn't the end, and that was really truly just the beginning. And it comes off, it has like this tinge of conquest in the story, because I feel like wherever this commander goes, he's going to do something with wherever he's at. Like he's going to find his own route, his own way.
Yeah.
Build his own thing. And that's a really great message, because how many people are actually talking about building something, you know, and trying to build upon themselves, having that internal dive inwards to find whatever the true conflict is in their hearts. So
Yeet. All right, we're about to reset the cameras real quick. The audio will probably keep rolling, so I'll hold
Cut these hoes before y'all get into another. Like,
another little section.
yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Shout out Fish, bro. It's my name.
Part 3.
That's fucking dope. All right, so I like the way you're going with this, because it actually brought up one of the tropes I wanted to tackle. So most of the time we listen to music, we don't listen to local music, right?
True.
There's a bunch of it.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it's constantly inundating you, and really you want to see the people at their best. So a lot of people listen to mainstream artists, which is fine, whether that be alternative mainstream or whatever. That's me included. And there's one trope that I find a lot in my favorite artists, because I have a certain style of music. I like the darkness. I like the raw. I like people really going after it and trying to unveil some truth that
Same.
maybe I don't know.
Same.
So one big trope that you see from a lot of artists, whether it be Mac or Drake or Kendrick, whoever the fuck it is, it really don't matter. The Beatles, look at these nigga statues over here, Eighth Wonder or Ninth Wonder, is, oh my God, I'm rich and famous now and it sucks and it's not everything it lived up to be, and I wish things could just go back to the way they were, right? I think this trope is in a bunch of music across all genres of like, what you're expecting in this lifestyle that you've been sold as a dream actually isn't what it's cut out to be. And you should really just value your family and the people around you and your time on earth.
Yeah.
Because fame isn't it and money isn't it, because it makes everything miserable.
None of this shit goes with you.
And like, I resonate with that because it feels real, right? It feels like people being honest about their circumstances, their situations. And it's real common, and it's interesting almost every time.
It's just, you know what interests me about it? It's
Yeah.
like, I wonder what it's like for them on a day-to-day, because you can't go around with, you can't fucking hop out a fucking $500,000 car and be crying to a nigga that don't have a car, bro.
And that's my point. So I wanted to turn the trope on its head, right?
Yeah.
Because to me, I want to go find out myself. I want to go
Right,
there
like,
and
fuck
see that
what
it's not
you
gonna-
said. Like,
right?
oh, this
I gotta,
sucks.
I gotta go see that.
Oh, this money ain't shit? All right, well, I'll take that shit happily and see
You know
for
what I'm
myself
saying?
if it ain't shit, bro, because y'all niggas tweaking, bro.
Because there's plenty of artists that really turn down their lifestyle and go backwards, and you gotta respect it and appreciate it, whether they did it on purpose or not, right? Like some people say there's nothing better than being a one-hit wonder, because you get all the money of this huge hit, but
And
you don't
it
have
doesn't,
any.
like,
You can
absorb
still go
your
to the
life.
fucking mall.
Yeah, your life isn't actually...
You know what I'm saying? So you're just chilling on these royalties, and you got to do music, and you get to experiment and live your life, and that's what's up, man. But at the same time, like, I want the fame because it comes with some other shit, right? It comes with influence, it comes with legacy, and I feel like a lot of people have a platform and they have opportunities to really change some shit, and they don't. And
Nah.
I can count on maybe two hands people who really have that opportunity, grab that shit and made it better for other people. And that's my real mission, and you can't do that really without the other shit.
Yeah.
In my opinion, right?
Right.
Because I don't want to step in a fucking restaurant and just be, everybody know me, nigga. That shit's corny.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if that is happening, that's a side effect of like I'm making an impact and people are recognizing whatever the fuck I'm doing, which is a nice feeling.
Exactly. But
Supposedly.
it's like a lot of people get into that point and they see it as a safe space and stay there. You know? I don't see that as a quality in a lot of our guys. Like, we're constantly pushing for something more. And
It's some more. It's a hunger, right?
we're
It's
always
it's
talking about, like, if we had this,
Yeah.
or if we had this, or if we were able to get this going, then we can do more, right?
I mean, our setup right now is kind of case in point. Like
Right.
what we're gonna turn this into with the budget and the resources and the materials we have is a testament to just ingenuity.
This shit
and
is brought to you by
resiliency.
2 tripods, 2 cameras, 3
Some
niggas,
bricks.
and 2 bricks.
Like, this shit is crazy, bro. Like, I wish y'all could see this.
But, like, we're going to run this bitch into outer space.
Exactly.
Like, we're not going to it doesn't matter. Like, see, that's, you got to think.
You almost
When
said the
Commander
thing.
fucking runs
You
out of
almost said the
fuel.
thing.
He fucking runs out of fuel. What'd I say?
Just doesn't matter.
Real shit. When Commander runs out of fuel and fucking Mission Control's telling him, like, bro, get a grip. This shit's over. You fucked up. It's done. He's like, well, bitch, what the fuck you mean? This shit is never done.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning. Like, there's always a way. So it's like, it's really about what do you, like, I think everyone's perception really is what determines where everyone is at. Because if someone sees themselves like they have a fucking $500,000 car, but they're just not happy in their life, then their quality of life is shit. But they have high quality shit in their life, but that doesn't bring higher quality to their lives.
Yeah.
So you got perception on the forefront of everything. Like, if I dude, that decides if someone's gonna listen to a track for over fucking 10 seconds before they click the next song. You know, what are they perceiving from what you're picking up? I mean, what you're putting down. You know, what are they picking up?
So yeah, that's the story. Is like, part of it is, oh my God, everybody's rich and fame sucks. Well, what about the opposite coin? What if you really wanted that shit and you never got it?
Straight up.
That's our story. That's the story you don't hear, right? That story is equally crushing, if not more. It's more raw, it's more honest, it's more devastating, and I think it's more relatable. I think this album really tackles the idea of consumerism and capitalism and real surface level shit, but it gets deeper the more you peel back. Songs like Second Contact or Overman, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all over the album, but it's we've been sold this dream of everybody's going to be a star. We're all in space. We're all suns. We all have gravity. We're all the one.
Oh yeah.
And how many people are actually getting there? And it's none. Like, it's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction who are even relevant. And those people that make it are just completely fucking savages.
And it's just like, man,
like
the whole
evil, bro.
Yeah, like the
Most of
whole
the time.
rap game and hip hop and like just hip hop
Social media,
has been so
all the
industrialized
shit,
and so like mechanized that it's
Yeah.
not even fucking real anymore. Everyone that you see that's like up on a fucking big stage is there for the work of like hundreds of other people getting them to that stage.
Yeah.
And it's like there's actually a fucking machine behind it. And so like if you're in support of that machine, then I don't fuck with you.
We're all in the machine.
But like I'm saying, if you're choosing to feed that machine and
Yeah.
you know, then I don't fuck with you, right? Because I'm like this artist, this local artist, and I'm pushing my team. I got my whole city on my back.
Yeah.
I got all these homies, and we're building a new movement, and we're making a new wave. But that's my perception still.
Yep.
You know.
And you're talking about literally the first verse of Overman, right?
Yes.
It's like, I mean, I can do a whole lyric thing. I try not to get there. I want to just rap all the shit, like, remember this lyric here, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is like, from my perspective, I can see him ruling the nation, right? That's one of the lines of like, there is no objectivity. Everything's subjective. Everything depends on your perception. And we can have agreed upon subjectivity, right? Where we call it reality. But you could also choose to opt out. There's people literally walking by here who live in a different world than I do.
Straight up.
And I've visited that world sometimes when you do some other shit. But like, the bottom line is like, we stand for something specific. We have our values, our goals, our vision of what is possible, and can we reach this goal while having these values, right? I started making beats in 2013. It's 2025. I'm fucking almost 12 years in the game, and these values and all this goal and all this shit has given me this great experience and these deep friendships and this rich shit. But I don't feel any closer to the goal. Right? I like the chase. I like the act of achieving, maybe not achievement. Right? I do want my flowers because that meant I did something to get there. But at the same time, like the streams, the numbers, the rollout, all the shit is just telling me like, nah, you haven't grown that far. You're not that different than the numbers you're doing in 2017. That's the reality.
Right.
Because I'm following these goals. And these goals are very opposed to the actual act of like, nah, I want to get big. Because in order to get rich, in order to get famous, in order to do all this shit that I don't really want, but they're, again, side effects of what I actually want, you have to exploit people, and you got to exploit a system, and you got to do all this shit, and I just don't want to do it. But this fucking Sputniks album is like somebody who's so fed up with it that you got to decide whether you want to leave or if you just want to go so far in
Yeah.
So cutthroat, so vicious, so just devoid of fucking caring that it comes full circle to where you dominate with somehow the same value. It's just this weird place where like even in the past 2 weeks, I'm just like, fuck it, bro. I said fuck it like 4 days ago. I had a 20% increase in followers after I said fuck it. I do some shit I never do.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I had a certain number.
Come
and
on.
over the course of 3 or 4 days, it's grown 20% from that number. That number's been the same shit for basically 7 years.
Yeah.
And in fucking 4 days, it's already grown by a fifth. And it's dumb because I actually don't care. But I have to care.
Yeah.
Because I want to do this other thing.
No, yeah, it's like you feel kind of like as an artist, right? I want my music to be able to stand on its own 2 feet, and be able to like carry itself around and put itself on its back. But it's so when you go like to doing all these promos and you're reaching out to, you're trying to find A&R people that can fucking put you in a position for success. It feels kind of like, well, is this genuine? Like, am I doing this? Like, where does the music fit in any of this that I just did? Because it just feels like a business. But really and truly it is. So it's like a necessary evil to play that part of it and play this fucking game and fucking dominate these scrubs.
Because the point was like, I want to destroy necessary evils, right? I want to make necessary evils unnecessary. I want our philosophy and our ideas and the people we work with to go in there and people go like, we don't need these motherfuckers at all. They're not relevant. Right. They don't help. They just dilute and take away from the things we actually want to do. Yeah. And that's like very, punk, dude, I guess.
It's kind of crazy. Like I'll take someone through like any new person I meet. Like I'm always down. I want to show them like shit that we have on the station. Shit that like just through the years, all of the collaboration and the conglomeration of everything we've created as a crew, right? And then a common question is just like, bro, how the fuck are y'all doing this?
And we have done such a drop in the bucket of what I even think we're capable of doing.
No, this is like just been a splash, really.
Like even the videos and all the shit, like one of my biggest things is just like, fucking, I want to squeeze every drop. I want to do all this shit. We should be doing this kind of shit every day. And I just can't because I just don't have the opportunity to do that shit. I just have to make choices every day. Yep. And this is what's left. So I'm proud of the shit we done. But I always feel like we leave a meat on the bone. And there's no going back and changing it. So no matter how great I am from here on out, it's like, fuck, but 3 years ago there was this one thing and like blah, blah, blah. And that's the competitive part where it's hard to manage that shit as not only an individual artist, but as like this head of this little union we got, the AA Records. Like, I want everybody to eat more than me.
Right. How many times do you feel like you've had someone that you've shown something that you created or something? They're like, how the fuck did you do that? Because it's and I'm more the reason I'm asking this question is I want to know where that comes from. Like where does that stem from? Wanting to know how someone did it. Like, bro, we fucking did it.
But that's the magic. It's like a magic trick, bro.
We had to fucking make it happen.
But like most people are gonna choose the magic trick, right? You want the applause, you want the notoriety, you want the TV show, you want the blah blah blah, but you don't actually want the magic. Like the magic is like, how the fuck did you make that? Because where did it come from, right? It's all derivative. Yeah. And it comes from different places. So like, the goal is to blow people away, right? Yeah. To really be unique and really do some shit that's not like anything else.
You know what's crazy is people wouldn't see the magic. Like people see them hear word magic and just think that it's like, oh, these niggas just making rabbits pop out of their sleeves. But no, the magic is we're fucking have recording equipment set up in a fucking F-150 and I'm in the back seat and this nigga's in the driver's seat telling me
recorded right there,
everybody quiet, shut up, all right, say your line. You're like, that's the magic, but it don't look like magic, it don't feel like magic. But when someone is asking you how the fuck did that even happen, you're like, damn, we kind of did do a little magic trick there, because they're not seeing the true process.
I mean, we're just fucking pit bulls to it, man. We just can't stop. We just don't know when to quit. Like it's the strength and the weak, right? That's the album, right? It's the people that don't know when to fucking quit. When you commit yourself to fucking hijack a spaceship to go suicide bomb an alien planet, like you should have known when to stop digging. You dug too deep.
Yeah, at this point you're fucking fried.
But I want to keep digging. Like that's the idea. Is like.
And then another thing that got me about the tape is that at the end, that disembodied voice. Oh yeah, talking to Commander saying that they'll I don't like, who the fuck was that?
Can I talk about that?
Yeah.
So like that's magic.
Yeah.
When we talk about magic, like fucking 2021, I knew there was gonna be it's not a space album if there's no aliens.
Yeah.
So I know there has to be an alien. I didn't decide exactly what the alien was gonna be until I recorded the shit. Must have been January 1st or 2nd.
Damn.
Hold on, we gotta get these cameras right.
I'll send you at 5.
5 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh shit, man. I can keep going. Oh. He cooked me.
You said shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. It's funny because the audio's still going.
On this camera, we got 3 bars of battery. This is still full. This one doesn't say.
I don't give a fuck.
That one's probably solid. That's a little vlogger camera.
Hell yeah.
That was the one I'm kind of worried about.
God,
3 bars. I guess
man.
there's 6 bars. That sounds like 50%. So here we go.
Action. Mark 4.
This nigga can count. I'm so impressed right now. Donnie got the 4, bro. Anyways, the magic of the aliens, bro. So I was like, what's alien? Right? What is alien? This alien that speak our voice. So first things first, I had to go to my alien girl, Isabel. She was the alien voice. I ran her shit through a bunch of pedals, a bunch of different diffusions,
Fuck
distortions, tube runners, all this shit, right?
Yeah.
To really get it out there, octavers, chorus, like really fuck it up and make the voice not human. And then I was like, man, the aliens are wise, bro. That's what the script says, right? These aliens know more than we do. They've been observing this dude. They've actually been calling him the whole time.
Right. You wonder why he's getting strange subsurface readings from the planet.
It's because this fucking thing is calling him. It's beckoning to him, and that's not this album. That's the next one.
Fuck yeah.
But it's like, even in my life, the aliens have come in. And those little aliens, bro, I got the kids, bro, to do all the voices. So
Hell yeah.
I was running through the paces, and I was like, y'all want to be on the album? And they're like, what? And they're like, yeah. I was like, yeah, here, let's improvise some lines. We'll go off script.
Oh, that's sick.
I'll
dude.
let you guys do something that nobody else has done. Not Clarissa, not Leighton, not me, not Belle, nobody. You guys tell me
Wow,
what
that's
you want to
crazy.
say and go in there and give me Alien. And
I
that's
didn't
what
know
they did.
that. I didn't know
So
that.
yeah, Alessia, Angelo, Ava came to the house. We had the album wrapped up, and they were like, let's do the thing. So we did the thing. I recorded. And they were like, we want your soul. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this shit is fire, right?
Hell yeah.
They're really like, his head is over here. We need to detach it. I'm just like, they're buying in.
Angelo's
and like,
the perfect alien.
magic is like, this outside force has really influenced my life. So it was good to really insert that part, because that shit is why it works.
Yeah.
To me, I don't give a fuck if nobody listens if it's dope. And that's the shit that makes it dope.
That's crazy. That's a crazy correlation. I had no idea that was even taking effect until now.
Oh, yeah.
So that was pretty cool to know that the little beans hopped on the mic, dude.
Oh,
That's
real
crazy.
shit. Oh, shit.
What?
We have our first That's Racist. It wasn't till you said it. But yeah, man, we're starting to lose the sunlight. It's cold as fuck. We ain't really even talk. I mean, we talked about the album. The album's about real life. We talking about real life shit.
Real shit.
Yeah, I
if you're really living a life, go listen to the album.
Yeah, if you're alive. I think that was one of the captions I wanted to do. Anyways, so I was working a job over here in Second Ward. We're literally a few blocks from where I was working it. I was working the summer program at some shit. Can't get too much into it. But I kind of brainstormed kind of the general script, and I hopefully have some pictures of that shit. I need to start posting background pictures. But I had sticky notes, and I had all these one lines of dialogue, all these little story beats I wanted to do, and I made this huge map, basically a storyboard of everything. And I kind of ate off that for years, and I just slowly but surely chipped away at the dialogue. And the dialogue is still clunky as fuck, but it's my first script, so I don't give a fuck. And we'd experimented with this kind of storytelling on Fish's projects, things like the Fish Tapes Ones, which is super heavy, and the skits, and the storytelling, and the 8 steps to a story circle. And I'm real big on that kind of shit.
Right.
So to see it kind of grow into this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. The first skit thing I ever did was, I think, on Donnie's 3rd tape.
Fish, yeah.
And I think we were trying to resurrect this nigga because he got into a bad car accident or something.
33rd Prometheus.
And his face was there as ass should be and shit like that. It was like a
be.
bunch of little one-liners came, but it like all kind of like coalesced into this story.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see, like, you know, you have to believe in the vision first and foremost.
It's a fucking barrier though, right? Because we're doing things that are unconventional. Like it's hard to get people to listen to a song. It's harder to get them to listen to more than one song, an EP. And then we talk about an album. and then we talk about an album that has 15 minutes worth of skits on it,
Right.
which like people, it hurts the replayability, it hurts all this other shit, but I don't fucking care about that. If you listen to it once and it resonates, like that's what's up. It's like a movie. How many times do you watch your favorite movie in a given year?
Real shit.
Like
I'll be
twice,
right?
maybe.
You're gonna come back and revisit it with nostalgia and
You don't want to overdo it.
yeah,
Right?
fondness as well.
Like my favorite movie might be like Kill Bill or something, right? I watch Kill Bill once every 3 years because that's why I love it. It's because I don't overdo it.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of wanted to experiment with like maybe you only can watch 8 things. I've heard this thing, and you just watch those 8 things, you get to appreciate them more and more. But like, my opinion, like my shit's not for the views, it's not for the streaming numbers, it's not for that shit. It's for that one moment of like the magic. What the fuck? I ain't never heard no shit like this. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if it's good, but it's different and it's interesting. And like that's what I want from people.
Yeah, I feel like Sputniks takes you into like an alternate universe in a way. Like,
Yeah.
if you can imagine where we're at now in our current society, and like imagining what that looks like in the future if we continue down this path, it's like wars, famine, mass industrialization, space exploration, and all these different things, right? But like, there's something fundamentally messed up with our society, right?
Yeah.
And so like, I think whenever we go to Commander's universe, this alternate dimension or this alternate universe that Sputniks is bringing you to, you can see why some of the decisions he's making are being made. If you have that kind of if you have that in the back of your mind that this is the universe that we're encompassing, right? So what does he really have to look forward back at home? You know, there's been wars, or there's people like there's mass industrialization. There isn't real, like, humanity has lost its humanity in a way, and we've taken our earth and polluted it. We've knocked down all the trees and replaced them with fucking robots, big ass machines and stuff. We got children that aren't even getting to be children, you know, and this is still very true in our current today's society. So
yeah, it's not just the Matrix, it's not just Cyberpunk 2077, it's not this fictional place like Blade Runner. Like, it's very real.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it right now. I look at it every day, bro. I work in the community,
bro.
Like, no bullshit, this world is rotting, right? And it's not like it's a new thing. Maybe there's this like wave of nostalgia where it's like, oh yeah, 100 years ago or 50 years ago or the fuck it is, that it was somehow better, but it's certainly not getting better,
Right.
and so
Right, and the other people who say they want change and want something to, like, want things to change, or want, like, all these different groups, and some people have their heart in the right place, but then other people, they really don't want things to get better, because if things were better, then they wouldn't even be in a position to do what they're doing. So they get like this sense of fulfillment from stepping into that role. But
even the potential.
If the problem didn't exist anymore, then
yeah.
that role wouldn't be there to try and fix the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to start focusing on actually fixing things, and that's something we don't do. So it's like,
and so you fucking leave, bro.
yeah. So you just
leave.
fucking blast off into space in search of something greater.
Because it is an option, right? It's always an option, and it's the option you're battling with, and it's the option a lot of people take. But it's like, you can stay here and you can fight the good fight, or you could fucking exit. And so we're fighting for this shit, right? And it's tough and it's hard.
Yeah.
But like, what if this nigga is flicking off cops and shit like that, bro? Like a little rebellions. You know what I'm saying? It's fish.
Oh yeah, gotta love this nigga.
But like, Sputniks and every album before and every album after is just gonna have a tinge of just revolution in there, man.
Yeah.
And it's our little mini revolution here, whether it be just getting better every day or whatever the fuck we got to do. But
it evolved in, I think your music with this tape evolved in a lot of ways sonically. The message that you're yelling at the top of your lungs, you know?
yeah, there's a lot of yelling.
Like, bro, half of this shit I could tell that my boy's voice was fried.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like, but I always like that because it transcends this emotion that you're trying to get off. So it's like, he's fucking telling me to scream and yell and shit at doing the skits, and I'm like, nigga.
Oh yeah.
What?
We were screaming some crazy shit, bro. We got Lola at the house.
Yeah, yes, bro. His girlfriend's
We had to
grandmother.
dip.
His girlfriend's grandmother is there, and she's like super Catholic and Christian and
Yes.
just ain't going for it, bro. And I'm sitting here saying God is not real. God does not exist at the top of my lungs.
Yeah,
mind you.
it's exactly, it's there, right? And whether we like to acknowledge it or not, at least we do. We live in this Christian world, man. These principles and these ideas,
No, it's true though.
directly or indirectly, built a lot of the society we occupy. And even myself, like, this shit is ingrained in my head. Even things that I like I said earlier, things about caring for the weak and the needy and poor, right? This is not just a Christian morality, right? This could apply to Buddhism or these other disciplines and shit.
Yeah.
But it's a religious, like, kind of mentality of, like, you come from this persecuted thing and you need to look out for those who are in need because that could be you, and this whole empathizing, sympathizing thing.
Yeah.
But that's not objective.
Yeah.
That's a subjective thing. Like, what if you were just a fucking savage?
Exactly. Like, you know, right. Like, what are you looking for out of life, honestly, what it comes down to? Like, are you, because, okay, you can say that you want to, like, all these things to change and to progress, and you want to help people, and you want to, you know, try and be the change that you want to see in this world. But in practice and actually doing it, it's like sometimes it doesn't feel like it's coming off that way.
Yeah.
In a way, like it feels like it's coming off like, oh, I'm just the fucking best. I'm gonna be the best. Fuck
Yeah,
you,
it's
ain't
coming
your
from
baby
a fucking
mama
rapper,
shit.
bro.
Yeah,
It's
this is a
the
rap
most
album.
attention-seeking, cliche bullshit. Everybody eye roll. Like,
Yeah.
the irony is not lost on me. That, like, I'm pretty sure that's a line somewhere in there. Like, I get it, and that's the point. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's very self-aware. It's very, like, I get it, bro.
I think through the disembodied voice, when she's saying like, she's talking to the human race as a whole. It's like we've imbued ourselves with this sense of self-worth to be greater and to pursue greater things. But there's something underlying underneath that why do we go for greater? Why
That's
do we?
the mortality piece, right?
Come on.
I think people are trying to transcend time and space and make a little mark for themselves, or just while they have their little bit of time, just do the most indulgent
Yes.
shit, right? This is a very philosophical album, and I tried to read up on classical philosophical things maybe for the first time, right?
Yeah.
I've taken my fair share of critical thinking and philosophy courses over the course of my life and through college and just an interest shit. But things like Nietzsche and Pessoa and Camus and fucking who else is on this hoe?
Dude, like,
fucking Freud, and like I can name all these. Like, I was really reading this shit,
Yeah.
and I was really taking it. Like, I could talk about the pleasure principle and the reality principle, right?
Right.
The id and the ego, where it's like they're constantly battling, and it's like this idea of the reality. You'll try to stay rational, and you try not to give in to your impulses, but it's like that's all a part of all these different things. Is like
I feel like
there was real philosophical battles even between me and Bell.
Yeah, I feel like at this point in our lives too, at this age that we're at, and you know, seeing where things are at and where the chips lie, and you know what we can maneuver.
Yeah.
It's like that nihilism can definitely come into play like big time, because you're just like, bro, what's the point? You know, like in 4.5 billion years, we're all
That
gonna
boy just
get
threw me the
swallowed by
alley
the
watching
sun.
shit.
You know what I'm saying?
About to yam that hoe. No, yeah, the nihilism piece, right? Because nihilism, traditionally speaking, is kind of a negative thing. It's the idea that nothing matters. Fuck it. Doesn't matter if we win or if we die or whatever, right? It just doesn't matter if the name of my fucking band. Like, it's always kind of been there. It's this rejection and kind of immaturity, right? That's nihilism, right? But I think, like, a track on the album is called Cosmic Nihilism. Is the idea that if you really believe in this nihilistic principles, that's not damning. They're not negative.
Yeah, why is that a negative thing? Why does that have
freeing.
to have negative connotations? There's really no connotations there to be had. You just take your perception and apply it.
And the perception's different than you, because you feel like you have fate, or that you were ordained to do something, or that there's some kind of influence. And not saying that I don't believe those things, right? I'm definitely like,
I've been doing
spiritual
it
in some way, bro. Like, I've been raised, like, that's just, I can't avoid it.
Yeah.
I feel it.
Yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, if you don't have fate, you get to decide your fate. This is a freeing concept.
Yes.
Right? It's not limiting. It doesn't mean nothing matters. It means you get to choose what matters, which is so much real and better and empowering and all those great things.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you doubt that as a negative? But that's the perception, right? It's perspective.
True.
That's your thing, not to make it untrue, but it's there's no objectivity. It's the point.
Yeah, I mean, some of the most down to earth and receptive people and empathetic people I've met are like atheists, or like you wouldn't expect to meet that from someone. Like you wouldn't expect that from someone who doesn't believe in a. I guess you say
judgment?
like religion is like this moral, like it has a lot of morals that play behind it, but like. Let's say someone who not even applying that in their daily life still finds a way to be a decent human being, still finds a way to, have this moral code and have this integrity about themselves. Like that's the same thing you can say with nihilism too, is like some people need to have a purpose or have to feel like there's something greater to it or something. But like when I met you, it's like, bro, this shit don't matter. So why the fuck do we care? Like, if it doesn't matter, so we might as well just fucking go the hardest we can.
Yeah.
But you was like, you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? It's
No,
kind of
yeah.
like contradictory in a way, because you don't expect that, because you just think that, oh, well, you just hear it doesn't matter. And it's like...
That's why it matters.
But yeah, exactly. It's
like,
not a fucking bad... It's not necessarily a
people
bad
could
thing.
take it how they feel it. That's why, like, it was also a battle on the album to try and, like, hand feed maybe my views on the shit, because it's my album. But, like, I kind of wanted you to formulate your own shit as a person. And that applies to other shit. Things like, it just doesn't matter, the band name.
Right, right.
That shit's incomplete. It just doesn't matter, but you get to choose what matters to you. Like, that's really the rest.
Right, it's really a ... after that.
Because that's up to you to figure out.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That ain't up for me to fucking tell you. We will tell you it, and you have to interpret that shit, right? That is art.
Yeah.
That is expression. He's telling us we got 4 minutes.
Okay,
But
I wanted
we
to
have
say
more than
one more
that.
thing, for sure, is when we were talking about like the making magic thing, I wanted to go back to that, like
Please.
how we've made things happen with very little.
Yeah.
It's like there's a set, and that's why I love the skit so much, is because it has so many things that it's through a dialogue, right? But through this dialogue, you pick up all these character elements of like who these people are,
Sure.
just through the way that they're talking to each other. And so like whenever Commander's trying to go check out the anomaly, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, negative, you're not allowed to do that. She's straight up, Mission Control is straight up telling them what's not possible.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm just going to need you to give me the best way, or I'm going to have to freestyle a bit and find my own way.
See this brick wall behind us? That's what we'll be trying to run through.
Yeah, like
That's
just
what
keep
he's trying to
pushing
do,
against the
bro.
wall,
Like,
bro.
of course, she's going to say that's not an option, because that's not an option to her. She's going
Yes.
like, yeah, you're fucking, this is a routine thing. This isn't fucking go explore the fucking blah, blah, blah right now. Just do your fucking job and you'll be safe and you'll be good. It's like, he don't want to be safe. He don't want to be good.
Right.
So it's going to be like, look, I have to go try for myself. I have to go see. And that's one of our real philosophies of like, I mean, we'll all butt heads because we're all running through separate walls. And like, that's just what that shit is.
Yeah.
But like, sometimes some hoes topple over and we just flood that hoe.
Yep. Exactly, bro.
All right, resetting the cameras. That'll give us some time to think about some shit.
You have a way you want to draw it in?
An hour? Bet. I can go for another, 20 or so? I think we can do an hour and some change. I mean, I could film another 3 podcasts just about this shit, because we haven't touched on none of the necessary
yeah,
music.
we didn't even go
We
through
haven't gone like,
tracks.
how did Commander Sings Aloud get
We
made?
didn't talk about what
and I don't even think we're going to do that right
Space
now.
Aeneas stands for and what
No.
it means. I think we just kind of like,
We're in a general just
we're in a
philosophy.
preamble.
Yeah. This is the preamble.
We're at the
This is the little
preamble of
shit
this
before.
shit.
What you looking for?
The nut.
Hold on, broke. There go the brick wall.
That's the brick wall, guys. And that's the magic.
We're screwed.
This
Mark, action 3, 4, whatever the fuck.
5.
I knew he couldn't count. I told you.
Yeah, right?
I was impressed he got to 4.
4.
Is this 5?
Cut 4.
5.
It's 5.
Mark, action cut 5.
Bitch.
That is Director Priscilla, if y'all didn't know.
That is
He
the guy
did
who
our
approved
Russian-
me to go out into fucking
Yeah.
space.
He's our voice of authority and reason and just cold-heartedness. The guy on his fucking knees looking for the screw. But yeah, I mean, he's a real nigga out here on his knees, bro.
Yo.
My glasses, face ass. My glasses. This is crazy.
Let's see, man.
Fucking.
Yeah, so we were just saying this is
I'm
like
one
the
of those
preamble.
books.
This is
I'm
only
one of
like the
those books.
fucking preamble to this shit, really.
Yeah, man. I want to go into some of the philosophy. Oh shit, you threw the whole book. So here's some of the books I was reading. I was fucking reading. This is called The Book of Disquiet. This is by a dude named Fernando Pessoa, which is actually a fake name. This is not a real name. This is a very bizarre book, and a lot of the shit I was reading, I don't necessarily agree with it. Right? I'm looking for shit I disagree with to really push my beliefs and values. And this is a badass book. So this is some real 1870s incel shit. It's about a dude in a coffee shop writing a fake diary. It's fucking nuts, but it deals about nihilism and selfishness and weird outsider diseases and all this kind of shit.
What's the name of this book
The
called?
Book of Disquiet.
The Book of Disquiet.
It's fucking dope. It's written by a Portuguese philosopher at the end of the day.
This is written by
Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche. So this is Beyond Good and Evil.
Nietzsche.
It's a compilation of some of his beliefs. Just for context, a lot of his beliefs got hijacked. So he died the late 19th century. He had a stroke because a horse was getting flogged and just, that was sick. A horse was getting flogged and he tried to protect it, and it just, his beliefs and his philosophy just overwhelmed, short-circuited his brain. He had a stroke and just slowly died after that. It was kind of the turn of his mind. But before then, he had a life of kind of like a Van Gogh thing, where there's a little bit of buzz, and just died as kind of a nobody, or a Edgar Allan Poe, right? Just somebody who kind of is in these circles of all these really influential like European philosophers and psychologists when it's first emerging.
Yeah, remaining like an unsung hero.
Yeah, and just kind of like melted away and died with his brain and rot. But like when you go back and look at some of his shit, it's very applicable because he's talking about like morality.
Yeah.
He's talking about nihilism. He's like the godfather of all that shit. And like a modern Socrates or a Plato or Aristotle, right?
Right. And
a lot of this shit is a huge foundational piece to the philosophies of Sputniks.
If you're using these as almost like anchor points in your album,
because I want to be beyond me, right?
Then it's like, okay, this album seems to me like something where its points are, and like let's say where these people they didn't get their flowers until a lot of them until way after their time. You know, so
it's a crazy reality.
You don't really know what you do today, what that entails, and what that'll mean in the future. You know, we don't know what this album is its true trajectory is. You know,
that's
it with every art.
That's
every
right
project
there.
that you release.
So,
everything you pursue.
Like I said earlier, I was in the storm, bro. I'm still I can't see the woods. Right, we're in the forest, and I hope one day, whatever that day may be, that this shit's able to affect and influence somebody for the better.
Right.
And
be on top of the mountain looking down at the forest
it'd be
with
nice
a better perspective.
if I was able to smell the flowers while we was on this bitch.
Hell yes.
But like we're so limited by our time and our place in this little world, man. So fuck it. It's bigger than me, and there's no telling where this shit goes or what it grows into. Whether that be, I mean, the nigga that wrote Moby Dick, he died unknown.
Yeah, bro.
You know, so there's even, you can't know your impact even in your life. So that tells you really how limited you are from perspective, right?
One of our, I think all of our like biggest like, or one of our like all of our favorite artists is MF Doom.
No real shit.
You know, his music stands the test of time like no other. You know, so you got these are the places we're drawing our inspirations from. These are the places that
these rejects, bro.
Yeah, so it's like fuck you guys, really. We're trying to do us.
Yeah.
And we believe in our shit. And as long as we keep doing the real shit, I think the test of time is always time will have an effect that we can't see yet.
Yeah, man.
So it's like, as long as we're just staying true to what we do and keep pushing what we got going on, what we believe, and we stay true to ourselves in everything we do, I have faith that it'll all work out, you know? But you gotta have some sort of sense of purpose of why you're doing something, a sense of purpose of why you're doing something. What are you pursuing? Because I feel like
Calypso,
we could release a track, right? And then I expect this track to do this, or I expect it to like everyone to like it, and it's like the track I like the least is the one everyone keeps coming back to me about, like, oh, this was fire, bro. I'm like, really?
Oh, that, just as a side note, what is the weakest song on Sputniks? Just curiosity, because not even from a critical lens, right? I'm always trying to get better and all that shit.
You know,
it's not for that, but like I know what I think is the weakest. I'm just curious to hear other people's answers to see if they align with me.
You know
on what maybe is the
you sent that in the group chat like right after it came out, really, and
yeah.
I've been sitting and digesting the shit and
Tough question.
try to get back to all your points, and that's the one I haven't been able to get back to yet because every part plays. I mean, every track plays
Has a
its
role.
part and has a role.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it all ties together. So me saying I hate or like I dislike a track more than another right now is like I'm just saying I dislike what the tape is about.
No,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah, I
like,
feel that.
I gotta keep on it. Spend
So,
a little bit more time. Appreciate
Donnie, do
it.
you have an answer? He's not going to answer. I knew that shit. That's because they're real niggas, right?
I mean, but
I'm
I'm
appreciate it for what it is, and I appreciate that.
I could come back though. I could come back and be like, this is the one I
So,
sonically wasn't really.
Let me tell you my answer. All right. A year? I'll give you a year. Sure. We'll talk about it.
All right.
But also, you sent me the craziest message like a week, 2 weeks after the shit came out. You should reread through that whole. Because what you just said is a good point to wrap it up, but I don't want to wrap up. I want to talk for like another 10 minutes or so. Maybe a little more. So if you remember some of that shit off your head, because that shit was a long message, I was like, yeah, shit's crazy, bro.
Sure.
This is the craziest message I ever got after the album. So like, I appreciated that. But there's this song on the hoe. It's towards the end. It's one of the most dense. Production-wise, it's a little all over the place. It's one of the last beats I made. And it's really not even, it's a hint towards the next album. So for all those reasons, it ended up being the quote-unquote weakest. When I say weakest, I mean the worst. I mean just like
Is it what I'm thinking?
it is the song called, excluding the intro and outro because that doesn't count, but it's a song called Death Switcher.
Okay.
So Death Switcher, there's a ton to it, but the bottom line is it's a hard song to really sink your teeth into, right? Because it's actually one of the most dense songs on that whole. Like, there's a ton of depth, which is what I want. I want 10 years from now, 100 years from now, 10 seconds from now. Oh, it's Supra. I feel like Jello.
That bit fire.
Anyways.
That bit fire. I know that's right,
love. But fucking Death Switcher, the beat is crazy. The beat fights the words at every part. It's really hard to understand. It's like this climax, and that's what I want. I want it to be too much.
This is right after Commander
It's too
crashed
much.
his vessel.
Yes, he's crashing his ship. He's
Farewell,
fucking
wretched vessel. I cast you into
losing
the
his
abyss.
humanity. And Death Switcher is him turning the switch on, just to be like,
I will
I'm turning it
ascend.
off.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am a god. I
I'm-
will ascend. I cast you into the abyss.
So,
I'm standing over all
it's
this
all
shit.
this beat break shit and all this alien shit and all these great fucking arpeggio hit amplify we send this. That's like it's all this dope shit. That is to say, it's just a different kind of song, man. And I'm glad it's on there, but it's very much.
It's been a lot for you to digest, and
it's
you feel like
a-
it's a lot for any new listener
Yeah,
to digest.
it's a lot. It's an iridescent wart on
You
this
asked-
like dark album, which is like I like. That's why I put it on there. It's good.
You asked
It does
the
its
people,
role.
You ask the people who listen to you so much when you ask them for just a few minutes of their time,
Yeah.
in the few minutes of their listening, like of their ears, you know, like that shit goes so far because when you open up your ears, you're able to intake information. But why am I wanting you to open your ears? What do I have to tell you?
Yeah.
I have something to say.
Yeah.
So, and that's like a big task for you to ask from a first-time listener or any potential new listeners.
I mean, even this we're doing right now.
right? Or like
It's
the
a big
people
ask.
who've been knowing you, right? It's a big ask to be like, hey guys,
You want to listen to an
digest
hour
this shit.
and 30 minutes of me talking about this album that you probably haven't listened to?
Exactly.
That's a huge ask, but like,
You're sitting them down at your table and you're serving the plates. It's up to them if they like if they can
if you're
digest
hearing
what
this,
you
bro,
have on the
it's
plate.
literally for you.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
even if you hate listen, it's still for you.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. So
Fuck. Let me take off my pimp glove. Okay, fuck. Let's look at maybe. How much time we have, Fish? On the recording.
We're at an hour 13.
Hour 13. All right, cool. Hour 14 now. Let me see if I can send this all home somehow. Because
go through that message too.
we're going to fucking. We still got so much more to talk about with this fucking album.
Yeah, we kind of like just did a preamble, like you said.
Make more episodes.
I know. But about the same thing, it's a little rough.
Nah.
It's a little rough, bro. Okay, let me read through some of this shit. This nigga said, I give this a Fantano score of fuck a Fantano score. Who cares? It's a great message.
Mark, action 6.
All right.
6, bitch.
All right, let's send this home. I'm forgetting one of the big philosophers somehow. Yeah.
Freud?
Not Freud. It doesn't matter. All the captions on Instagram are coming out, and they're kind of breaking down shit piece by piece, which is sick.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a new way to roll it out, kind of. Doing a lot of different shit with the advertising, kind of reaching out. It's different for me.
I like what you're doing though with the advertising, because it's
We didn't talk about the movie.
It's giving people an opportunity to, like, if they want to get deeper into the lore, they want to get a little bit more behind the story and try to gather more. Because I think the first time I listened to it, I was like, hold up, wait, let me hear this shit again, because I gotta.
And you helped make it.
Run it back.
You literally helped make it,
for
bro.
sure. But it's like, like anyone who wants to read deeper, you're giving that to them in terms of the lore, in terms of the screen prints of, the screenwriting.
Yeah.
And everything. The artwork, I definitely feel like the illustrations of the characters help to kind of give them more, like, personify them a little bit more, because you get to, like, put these disembodied voices to faces.
That's one of the dangers of the shit, right?
Right.
It's like, even making a music video, what you're doing is going like, yeah, I made this thing, and you have an imagination for it, but I'm going to give you what I imagine, and that's going to be your new thing that you vision when you listen to this thing.
Right.
That's a risky thing to do, because we're suggesting things through our art for your imagination to take over, right? I'm throwing it to you, and you visualize how it applies to your life, who's saying it, what it looks like, right? Blah, blah, blah. So to actually have these tools, because I made the art in Midjourney, which is like a new thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not, which it also has its own baggage, right? I'm sitting here talking about corporate and consumer capitalism and all these values and shit, but I'm using like Midjourney as a tool to create art. That itself has moralistic implications that maybe I don't perceive right now, but 10 years from now, I'll be like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have did it like that. But like, that's the resource available to me right now. And I want to personify these things. I want to give you specific things. I'm very intentional about what I'm showing you.
Right.
I want you to look at Commander this way as an adult and as a child. I want you to look at Mission Control this way. I want Pessoa to look like this. Yes, he has a cigar. He has a mustache. He looks like this. Yes, his fucking brain. He has this fucking piece of metal that comes over. You know what I'm saying? I went out of my way to not have album art of the ship. Why? Because the album and the music itself is the vehicle. That is the ship. Why would I show you the ship? I didn't, like, you know what I'm saying? There's magic tricks with that, where it's like, I don't know if they're imagining an X-Wing fighter or the Millennium Falcon or a fucking big-ass fucking, like, Star Trek ship. Like, it really depends on what you imagine for that perspective. But I'll show you when the hell burns. I'll show you his half fucking corpse. He's crawling through his own blood through the desert of this alien planet. I'll show you that because I want you to imagine that specific thing. So the art was a big piece to it that I've never had the opportunity to do. So I really appreciate that. You know, I feel limited by time a lot, not literally by like clock time, but like the year which I live in. Like half of our raps, whether that be me, Colt, Fish, Layden, Bane, we feel like we're ahead of our reality. Especially, I mean, Kai. Kai's at least 6 months in the future.
2045.
You know, he's the X-Man. He's the Days of Future Past. He's really out there. But, like, you know, I really feel like I'm in 3063. Like, the shit I want to do, I really can't because it's not happening yet. So, we'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
That went a little off the rails with that comment.
Yeah.
But, like, for real, like, time is another big factor inside the story of this album, right? I keep talking about mortality, humanity, selfishness. Time itself is a big part of, like, 8 minutes, 20 seconds, right? That song is literally time. It's titled after a set amount of time. That's the time it takes for sunlight to reach this earth, right? It's literally sunset while we're talking about this whole. But it's about how
so if the
time is a flat circle.
Right
And, like, whether we do shit or not, we exist in this superposition of, like, we'll always be, right? We perceive ourselves moving through time, but time doesn't move. It just is. So, like,
time doesn't even perceive
you know
us.
what I'm saying? Do we even die if we always exist? And it becomes that whole conversation of, like, this real metaphysical, philosophical thing, which, like, for practical senses, it doesn't matter, quote unquote. But, like, what if what if it did practically matter? What if you actually consider that as a real option, that you don't die? How would that change your perception of like reality right now?
Yeah.
Hence Sputniks. I hope this shit is making sense. It makes sense to me. I'm trying to get the vocabulary and just say it enough.
Yeah.
All this reading is cool. Like, they know how to personify it, but do I know how to really explain how I feel and do all those things? And like,
Yeah, you know,
that's what music gives me the chance to do.
Yeah, like I've been telling people about the tape. It just came out, and I'm like trying to tell them about it. It's like, you know, it's a story and this and that. Like, every time I try to like define this tape, I have just tell them like, bro, you just gotta listen to it. Like, I don't know what to fucking say. That if you don't listen to it, then there's really nothing I can still give you.
Mm-hmm.
You got to just hear it
make your own opinion.
Yeah, make your own interpretation.
Tell me if you didn't like it. If you did, tell him. I don't know. It's up to you, bro. But yeah, man. It's got certain ties and certain energy to where I think it's another big decision was putting out 2 versions of it, right?
Yeah.
I think obviously I don't want to do a clean version because the explicitness is definitely part of the feeling, so it feels wrong to even put that out. But instead of doing like a clean, dirty version, what if you did like I had the scripted version and then the just straight up tracks, because that's how the album actually existed to me for years.
Right.
I recorded these songs in 2021, 2022.
They're always just
I made a
supposed
road
to be
in
one after the
2020,
other.
You know? So for the past 4 years, the Sputniks with the gray lettering is actually how I heard the album. Now, simultaneously, I also have the imagination and the foresight to hear the script and to get all that shit in my head. It's floating up there. But quite literally, I just heard it track to track to track.
Right.
So I felt like I had to split them up and actually do both out there, because just because the script is able to tell this story and really tie it together doesn't mean that the other one isn't any less capable of telling a story either. So it's nice to put an album out where I put out both. And even the second version actually came out first, or I submitted it first to our distributor. Put a lot of pressure on me to make sure the shit was done, because I promise I could have put another 4 weeks of work into this thing and just even upped it up another notch, but you just have to know when enough is enough. And that's a hard battle, right? Because this, like I said, this album has been 4 years in the work, and I could have used another 4 weeks. And even when it was coming out, you're just like, damn, like just a couple little things could have really set this bitch off. But it's like, it is set the fuck off. And those things I wanted to do, let's do it for the next one.
Yeah, for sure. For
the
sure.
next one.
And there is a next one. And the
There's
next
always
one.
the next one.
And the next one. It doesn't end. But right now, rock out with us on this one.
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, this nigga's wearing a hoodie that says Stardust, bro. Come send us home. Come here,
shout
come
out
get in the
Stardust
camera.
Booking.
Shout out to boy Wes.
I'm gonna send this home all right.
Oh my God.
Let me see. Hey yo, Andy the GOAT. If y'all ain't know that, y'all know that now. If y'all still don't know that, y'all gon' find out. You know what I'm saying, nigga? We out here, big double A shit, nigga, all year, all millennium, nigga. Y'all can't fuck with us, nigga. None of you niggas, all you niggas is scrubs. This nigga made 2 albums, nigga, and a whole script, nigga. This nigga made PowerPoints and all that shit. Y'all niggas is not on that shit. Fuck all you niggas, nigga. It's double A, nigga. 33 in this hoe, big 3s in this bitch, nigga. Suck my dick.
Hey, guess what temperature it is?
What temperature is it? 33! Pussy. Oh, but also, shout out the kids, the little beans, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go hard. Hey, I didn't even know y'all was the aliens. Y'all really my favorites out there, you know what I'm saying? I hope Andy show y'all this part, you know what I'm saying? I love y'all. Hey, shout out Gio, you know what I'm saying? You going out hard out there on the baseball bats and stuff. Shout out Ava, I see you out there, you know what I'm saying? Y'all be hooping and stuff. What's the little other homie's name? Not Ava, not Gio. Alessia. Hey, I saw you did some award thing at school, yo. Music of the month, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, we all gifted and talented, baby. Stop playing with us. Shout out Riz, shout out Izzy, shouts out Lola, man, shouts out Ro, you know what I'm saying? Gang.
Word. Let's walk off camera real cool. I hope this shit's usable.